Hello, how are you doing today? My name is Karo. I'm a real estate consultant in Lagos, Nigeria. Welcome to another episode of Real Estate Talk with Karo. Real Estate Talk with Karo is a show where I discuss on real estate matters with the goal to, inform you, enlighten you on real estate matters so that when you're investing, you're able to make a wise decision. A lot of you didn't know about land titles before. A lot of you just knew that you wanted to invest, you wanted to buy land, you wanted to buy houses. You didn't know what to look for, which is why it was common at the time for a lot of you to be scammed, and for a lot of you, your added money to be lost to strangers, people who don't wish you well and all that. But this show is to help you change all of that, and I'm thankful that it's achieving its goal. A lot of you call me to tell me how the show has been helpful, how the information I share here has been very priceless. So that means a lot to me, and I intend to keep it up. So welcome to another episode of the show. Today's topic is kind of an interesting one because it's addressed to those of you who want to invest, who are ready to invest at the moment in a Bejuleki, part of Lagos, and then you've discovered Beachfront Park and Garden Estate, either the phase 1 or the phase 2, and you contacted me and you wanted to buy, but I told you it's no longer available, and then I gave you an alternative, a very good alternative, which can actually be put in place of Beachfront because all the attractions are the same. But you look at it and you're like, Queen's Garden, no, it's not really, it's Beachfront I want. Those of you are the people I want to address with this episode. Now, if you're watching this for the first time, you don't know what Beachfront Estate is all about, you don't know what the hype is all about, I'm going to also, address that in this video. But before we get into the video, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about how your year has been going. Has it been? I know that at the moment, some of you in some parts of the world, US, UK, and all that, we know that there was a second wave of COVID. And I'm so sorry for those of you who live in the parts of the world where this is really hitting hard. For Nigeria here, we have a lot of crowded gatherings, and the safety measures here is very poor, but then we don't hear anybody dying, so a lot of people just assume there's no COVID. But the government still every now and then still try to make sure people are abiding by the safety measures and all that. But I know compared to other parts of the world, things are really not back to normal. So I am sure that your year has not exactly been going the way you planned it to go, and I'm sorry about that. But still, I want to encourage you to keep the faith, to hang in there. That all this, there's a vaccine now. I don't know how effective that is, I know nothing about it, but I'm sure that it's something, it's progress, it's towards the right direction. This whole thing at some point will have to be done with. It can't go on forever, so just hang in there and still try to achieve your goal, work on your goals. What is it this year that you've decided that you want to achieve? Are you working on it? What can you do in the confines of your home to achieve your goals? For real estate, we focus on real estate here. So for real estate, this is actually the perfect time because a lot of you are indoors. And I'm sure a lot of you are taking advantage of it. Otherwise, you wouldn't be watching this video right now. A lot of you are taking advantage of the fact that now you have more time in your hands. And that's why sales of real estate, that's majorly why sales of real estate has skyrocketed, and we're running out of different properties that we bring out. We run out of it very quickly because a lot of you have time on your hands now, so you can do your research, you can make that decision that a lot of work has not allowed you to pay attention to before now. So I'm glad about that, and I hope those of you who are not taking advantage yet, you do the same, work towards your goals. There's nothing like I don't have money to invest yet. There's nothing like you shouldn't look at, you are not in competition with anybody, so you shouldn't look at the next person who is bringing out 20 million to pay outrightly to buy a property, or 50 million or 60 million. Whatever you can do. When I started investing in properties, I started with those ones that I actually am telling you today to stay away from. That is the lands with decisioning process. I didn't know better then. It wasn't actually because they were cheap. It was just because I didn't know better when I came into the industry, and I was so eager to invest. So when I made the first earnings I got, I saw lands with decisioning process and I bought some. So you guys can start that way too. You don't have to buy a decisioning process. I don't recommend it. I never recommend it now, but then you can do installmental payments. That's another way you can quickly. Some people will say, I want to pay outright. When he says that, maybe another one will come out. Like I said, it keeps getting expensive. It's never the right thing to wait. If you find a property that checks all the list of what you're looking for in a property, just buy it on installment. If you can afford it within a 6-month installment, within a 12-month installment, just buy it right there. So that's it for me. My year has started very well. I started with a rush actually, because there was this rush for Beachfront Park and Garden Phase 2, because he sold that it was closed for say January, so that created a lot of rush at the beginning of January, and I was able to help a number of people get plots there before it was closed for sale. And after that, the year became a bit slow for me. Slow in the sense that I should go for inspection. I don't have the time. I'm distracted with other things, and but those other things are also very important part of life. And maybe I should just use the opportunity to share the news. I'm engaged, so I'm planning my wedding. That has been a distraction a bit when it comes to work, but I still make sure I pick all your calls. There's never a time you call me I don't pick. If I can't talk at that moment, I always chat with you, so don't get it twisted. I never rest. Nothing can ever distract me from work, but I just mean more videos, and the space at which it takes me to bring you new videos. But I'll work on that. I intend to balance things out. So yeah, so your girl is getting married. And the Bible did say that at a point a man will leave his father and leave his mother and stick to his wife, and they will become one flesh. Life is much better when you go through it with someone. So it took a while to find that someone, and we refused to settle. So, but now, thank God we found that someone, and he's asked me to marry him. I think that happened actually last quarter of 2020. So, but it's just now now exposing my ring. Anyway, so that has been a little bit of distraction, but it's all joy. So I'm happy, and I'll work on, like I said, balancing things out and bringing you more videos. But I'm allowed to have this time of my life and and have fun with it. For those of you who would want to maybe give a gift, if you're wondering about it or anything like that, just let me know. If you want me to create a link where you can send your little token if you want to. That's if you want to, but otherwise it's fine. Just wish me all the best and wish me congratulations. That will be fine. So now let's get into the topic of the day. Now we're talking about Beachfront and Queen's Garden. We can't talk about Queen's Garden without starting with Beachfront. So let me tell you, for just those of you who don't know what the hype is about Beachfront and all that, Beachfront is actually called Beachfront Park and Garden Estates in Ibejuleki, Eleko area of Ibejuleki, not towards the refinery side, but the opposite of it, kind of. That's where it's located. If you've not seen the video, watch the video on my YouTube channel, you understand what I mean. So Beachfront, I think because of the name of the estate, that works for it a lot, because it's like when you hear Queen's Garden, you don't think of a beachfront, but when you hear Beachfront as a name of an estate, so I think that works for it a lot, and it had a lot of attractions. I invested in phase 1, invested in phase 2, as some of you also did. So it was a great one, and then the phase 1 sold out, and then phase 2 came out. towards the end of August 27th. I remember phase 2 was launched, and then from that August 27th all the way to January 2021 that it sold out. It wasn't supposed to take that long, but they acquired more plots and added to it. So when it sold out, it was mostly beachfront, you know. So there was a lot of hype, and there's still a lot of hype around it, but now it's closed for sale, right? Now since it's been closed for sale, just since January 15th 2021 that it's been closed for sale, I've had more than 10 people come to me and ask for beachfront, and a good number of them, once you say beachfront is sold out and you give an alternative to the beachfront, they look at it, they go watch the video, and then, which is Queen's Garden, they go watch the video and then they come and say, will beachfront phase 3 come out? You know, I want, once it comes out, let me know. I want beachfront. I prefer beachfront, and I don't get it. You know, I don't get it at all. So I felt like this video was needed. This video had to be done to discuss this, because it didn't make any sense, and it doesn't make any sense. You know, because if you are asking me to let you know when beachfront phase 3 comes, where will beachfront phase 3 be? It will not be inside beachfront phase 2. It will be on its own, standing on its own, just like Queen's Garden is standing on its own, right? But it will have the same attractions. That's what you mean by phase 3. You get? It was because of the demand that I kept getting for beachfront after it was closed for sale that I said, okay, I needed an alternative. I needed to give you people an alternative. And there's this estate that's been sitting there, Queen's Garden Ibejuleki, owned by the same developer, but that has been sitting there, that I never brought to you people. And there's a reason for that. I'll tell you why. The reason I didn't bring Queen's Garden to you people, so that you don't think that is an afterthought, it's just now an opportunity to sell. No, let me explain it. The reason I didn't bring Queen's Garden to you people was because Queen's Garden was selling for, at a time when beachfront, because when beachfront phase 1 came out, it was selling for 2.3. It was launched at 2.3, and then it went to 2.8 later, and it sold out at 2.8, right? As at then, Queen's Garden was already there, because Queen's Garden was already there before the beachfront series came out. Now Queen's Garden was selling for 3.3. You see the difference in price, and they all have the same attractions. Yes, of course, Queen's Garden is closer, meaning that on this same road, say this is a road, you get to Queen's Garden first, you know, and about 4 minutes later, actually for the phase 1, it will take maybe about 10 minutes later before you get to the phase 1 of beachfront. But then beachfront phase 2 came out, which was not closer to Queen's Garden, and it takes about 4 minutes drive extra for you from Queen's Garden for you to get to beachfront phase 2. And then when beachfront phase 2 came out, it was selling for 2.6. That was the price at which it was launched, and then it went to 3 million naira. And when it went to 3 million naira, Queen's Garden was not selling for 3.6. Now keep in mind, I am someone that will not give you something I will not buy. Do you get? If I had these options, beachfront phase 2 or beachfront phase 1, if I had the option of beachfront phase 1 selling for 2.8 now, and another is selling for 3.3, the difference, that difference in price has to be justified for me to buy. Do you get? And different for phase 1 and phase between beachfront phase 1 and Queen's Garden, there's enough distance to say, okay, this one is selling for 2.8, this one is selling for 3.3. You get? Let's give you Queen's Garden. Let me buy Queen's Garden, because the drive extra is at least 8 minutes or 7 minutes between Queen's Garden and beachfront phase 1. But then when phase 2 now came out, phase 2 didn't take long to come out. So when phase 1 sold out within days or so, that was when we heard that phase 2 was coming up. So I decided to wait for phase 2 to come up instead of recommending Queen's Garden and see how much it will be. And then phase 2 now came out. Phase 2 was selling for, like I said, 2.6, and then eventually 3 million. And now this was not selling for 3.6. Now the beachfront phase 2 was not closer to the Queen's Garden. You get it? So I didn't feel like a 4 minutes drive difference was worth the extra amount, and especially if, you know, this is available. If this that is cheaper, that has the same attraction as this one selling for 3.6 is available, then why recommend something that is more expensive? You get what I'm saying? So that was the only reason. Otherwise, they are the same thing. They have the same attractions. Everything is the same. They are from the same developer. But now that phase 2 is now closed for sale, it now makes Queen Garden the best estate we have available in terms of price and location. You get? As of now, if you come to me and say you want to buy a land in Ibejuleki, I will find it hard to recommend something else for you. I've not actually found something else that I can put in place of it, I can put side by side, you know, except if I say, okay, let me look at the other estates that are coming up in that area, because we have like 2 or so that are coming up, but I don't have any information about them yet. So I will not just recommend something because, oh yeah, people want it, so take it, take this. No. I will be sure before I recommend anything. So the only one I'm sure of now, considering the attractions, which I'll talk about, is that Queen's Garden. And it's ridiculous to say all the attractions are the same, but you insist on a beachfront. Is it because of the name? That's why I said that your priorities, you don't have them straight, you don't have them clear, your investment priority. The only thing you should be concerned about, I've had someone who pressed me for a plot of land in Beachfront phase 2 after it was closed for sale, all because a friend bought there. You know, if you still buy in Queen's Garden, you are just 4 minutes away from an estate your friend will be. You get? But people are like, yeah, my friend bought there. No, when another one comes out and all that, I'm like, are your priorities clear at all? You need to set your investment priorities very, very clear. Why are you investing? You're not investing because your friend is investing. You know, so if your friend gets into trouble, will you also follow them and get into trouble? You get what I'm saying? You're investing because it makes sense, because you're looking at it, everything you're trying to achieve. Let's look at it now. For those who are not investing because they want the returns, they are investing because they want to buy a land and build in the next few years. For those people, Queen's Garden, Beachfront makes sense because, one, the price is right. The price is right. If you want to buy a land that has CFO now within Ibejuleki, you'll be paying 6.5-8 million, between 6.5 and 8 million. I don't even think you really get a land for 6 million right now that has CFO. Same thing with Gazette and CFO in the real estate market is almost treated as equal, you know. And then, you know, I've done a video, here I'll put the link up there, that explains that at the moment there's really no extra benefit in buying a land that has CFO. There's absolutely no extra benefits, except if you are buying a land that the excision is not confirmed, like the excision has not been fully excised, the land has not been fully excised yet. That's the only advantage CFO has. But if a land is fully excised compared to a land that has CFO, there's no extra benefits. And I've explained it in that video, but let me just quickly touch on it. A land that has excision, if you buy it, you know, the title, the excision is not in your name, so you need to go and do a perfection of title. That's for lands that the estate don't want to do CFO. Even when the estates want to do CFO on top that approved decision, the CFO will not be in your name, so you will still have to go and do perfection of title. You get what I'm saying? You get? So whether the real estate company does their CFO or not, you will still have to go and do perfection of title, because that title you will get, the estate will get, will be a global CFO. So the CFO is not in your name. So it doesn't matter to you. It doesn't do anything for you that you have CFO. The only thing it does is just telling you that, oh, government has fully released the land, which is the same thing the decision tells you, that is a free land, that you have right to the land. But the right is not for CFO. The land that has CFO, the right is not in your name. So you still have to go and get perfection of title to have that title in your name. Same thing you would do if you buy approved decision that the company is not doing CFO for. You just go do perfection of title. You see what I mean? So it doesn't even, within that price, it makes sense for those who want to buy and build. You don't want to spend a lot of money. You want a land that is affordable. Queen's Garden makes sense because, you know, Beachfront is no longer available. You get it. Now, you also want to build, right? And location. Ibejuleki is cool. you want to bank it because a lot of you are not here. So whether you want to build or not, the point is you want to bank it for a while. These are the perfect area, because if you're banking land in areas like Abidjan, you have to be paying service charge on the land so that they can be maintaining it and clearing it and all that. But these ones in Ibejuleki, development doesn't happen so fast that you still need to maintain your land, but it doesn't happen so fast that those expenses are coming. You need to maintain it now, otherwise they will relocate you and all that. You get? So that makes sense. Now for those of you who want to invest, it especially makes sense, who are buying because you want to invest. You want that return on investment, you want to bank that money so that you have capital gain. It especially makes sense because of the attractions. So I said that the Queen's Garden and the Beachfront phase 1 and phase 2, they all have the same attractions. What are those attractions? One of them is that the Queen's Garden is not on the refinery, even though it's in the refinery area. It's not on the refinery road, it's on the opposite side of the refinery road. If you watch the video, you understand what I mean. Say this is a road, right? This is one straight road, and this is a roundabout. You know, you can either go this way or go this way. Now this way leads you to the refinery, this way leads you to Queen's Garden, Beachfront 1 and 2. You get what I'm saying? But from this Queen's Garden to the refinery, driving to it is within a 20-30 minutes drive. You get to the Lekki Victory Zone and then the refinery. So they are within the same community, but then it's not so close to it that it becomes a problem. You know, some of you are afraid of, you know, the health issues that could come up with a house being very close to the refinery. There's nothing like that. And then, but then the land is close to it enough that whatever is happening in this area will affect this area positively as well. You get what I'm saying? Now, number 2, is sitting on the proposed coastal road. That coastal road will be at least a 4-lane, but a lot of people are saying it's an 8-lane road, and I was of the opinion that it's an 8-lane road, but I keep looking at the road these days. I don't know how they'll be able to put 8 lane there, but we'll see. But people who work at the Lausa say it's an 8-lane road, proposed 8-lane road, but we'll see how that goes. The main thing is that it's sitting on a major express. The land you'll be buying is sitting on a major express. Do you get? And it's pushed enough inside that express will not become a problem. Like they won't build an estate there later that the government will not say that it's too close to the road, they want to cut into the estates. It's not that they've planned that, they foresee that, and they've pushed the estates inside. You get? So that proposed coastal road leads straight to Victoria Island, just like the Lekki Express leads straight to Victoria Island and Aja and Ibrahim and all that. You get that? And then for now we are using, if you take a Lekko, you get to Queen's Garden first. Queen's Garden is actually closer, so you take a Lekko you enter through a Lekko, you get to Queen's Garden first. That doesn't mean that Queen's Garden will always be closer in the long run. It would depend on where the access road you're taking, because this Lekko for now is the only road that we have that we're taking. But then there are other access roads, like you could just drive. You could be coming all the way from, you know, VI. Once that road, the proposed coastal road has been fixed, you could drive directly, like you're coming from Lekki Expressway. You can come through that way instead of coming through Lekki way. On that Lekki Expressway, we have at least 2 access road where you can access that estate and just drive instead of going all the way to Lekki and then turning and coming. You get what I'm saying? So there's a lot of attraction working for it. The beachfront, the fact that it is facing the Atlantic Ocean, is just on the opposite side of the road, which gives it the name. The other ones gave the other ones the name Beachfront. That one is just icing on the cake. So for returns, those are the things that you look at when you're thinking about, you know, return on your investment. What will influence it? Like those who bought into a beachfront, I've told them that I estimate that at least within the next 3 to 5 years, within the next 5 years, that beachfront should sell for nothing less than 6-7 million. So if you bought it at 2.6, you get, or you even bought it at 3 million naira, You see what I'm saying? So I can guarantee that whether they do that proposed road or not, it's within that time, I can almost guarantee you that that will happen, that there will be good returns, because really we're running out of land, and then you have this land on that area. Because even though the government work on that road or not, the community will work on it. There are even parts of it that are already being interlocked by the, I don't know who is doing it, but someone is, you know, extending the interlocking, that because the beginning of the road when you're coming through the Eleko part of it is actually already interlocked, but they didn't go far with it. So the last time I was there, I noticed that it's as if some people are trying to interlock the road. So one way or the other, because that area is already livable, if that road was good, that area you could build immediately. Even with that road the way it is, a lot of people live in that area. Unlike the refinery side, where it is mostly an industrial area. So because it's mostly an industrial area, you have to drive and get out of the industrial area completely before you start seeing residential plots. And even those residential plots, we've sold them 2-3 years ago, and now if you want to buy, you have to go inside. The estates that are available now in those areas, you have to drive inside. So we're talking about 45 minutes drive, 50 minutes drive, 1 hour drive. Whereas from Eleko to Queen's Garden is within a 15 minutes drive. You see the difference? And then at the end of the estate, you are seeing a main estate. You know how much a main estate says a plot now? 20 million. Yeah, for a 600 square meter plot, residential plot. Their commercial plot is 22 million naira a plot. But then from Queen's Garden, as the estate goes inside, once they develop now, from Queen's Garden, you are looking at a main estate. So what does that tell you? That when it comes to price, these ones are just starting, and they can pick up really, really quickly as development progresses. You get what I'm saying? So have your priorities clear when you are picking, you know, when you are making investments, when you're picking the plots you want to buy, when you're picking the estates that you want to buy from. It's not because your relative bought there, or because your best friend bought there, that you should be investing. You get, except if you decide that you want to build in that place and your best friend is in that place, and for some reason you guys can't stay apart, so you must buy in the same estate. That's fine. But that, especially because you want to buy for investment, and you become very sentimental about it. That is why the same sentimentality, that is why people go to their villages to buy land, and people go to places like Benin to buy land, and Port Harcourt to buy land, when they could buy land in Lagos. You can't compare the return you get. Benin doesn't even appreciate. A client lamented to me some time ago and said that the money he puts, his father forced him to make investment in Benin simply because he's a Benin man, and the land he bought there, after some years, not 1 naira, he got somebody to, you know, check the current price of the land in that area. Not 1 naira has added. So what will be the difference between buying such land and banking your money, keeping your money in the bank? There'll be no difference. You know, you would have just wasted a lot of money, because keeping your money there means that you've not been able to do other things with it. And then by the time you now get back to the money and say, let me use it, the value is not the same again. Naira is useless now. Naira, like you have 1 million naira and then you go shopping, and then the nylon you bring back will not even be full. That's what I'm saying, you know. So you want to make sure that, you know, you have your priorities very, very clear, and you're doing the right thing for yourself. So I think I've touched on everything I want to touch on. Right now, Queen's Garden has very limited plots. Once Queen's Garden sell out, I wouldn't know what else. I will have to go look for something else within the budget that the decision can be confirmed, you know, to have really, really been approved. Because you don't, the worst thing is to think that you're buying a land that has approved a decision, and then you find out that it's actually a decision in process, but you still bought it at the price that you should buy land that has approved a decision. That's worse, you know. So not just finding a land that has at least the decision has been approved, meaning that it's no longer in government's hands. Government has released the land. You want to be sure of that. You want to be sure that the money you are putting into these investments will not, would achieve the goal for which you're putting them in. You get? So I think I've mentioned everything, and that will be it. So if you want to buy Queen's Garden, and don't think that because actually the MD was even telling me that some people have suggested that he changed the name, because Queen's Garden, Beachfront, was like sold out so fast, and Queen's Garden has been sitting there, which was why I did a detailed video of it, of the estate, to show you the access route to the ocean, just like we have, exactly like we have it for Beachfront Phase 1 and Phase 2. That's how we have it for Queen's Garden. It's just that you can't name all estates Beachfront. You get? So don't let such sentiments that okay, the name. A lot of the estates on that road, in fact, this is the only one. The Beachfront Park and Garden 1 and 2 are the only estate on that road that is bearing Beachfront. Because others, as long as that name has been taken, another person can't go and take it. Otherwise, you start confusing the estates. So maybe Phase 3 will come out at some point. We don't know yet. I can almost say it will come out, but this 1 and 2, we are staying on the MD to make sure work progresses a lot in 1 and 2 before we go bring out, because we are not, we are not land sellers. You don't want to just sell land and then you don't do anything about it. We're developers. I'm partnering with developers. I'm not going to partner with people who just sell land and they don't do anything about it. So Phase 3 will not be coming out anytime soon. That's if there will be Phase 3 at all. It will not be coming out anytime soon. If it comes anytime soon, I probably will not be happy about it, because we need to those ones that we've sold, we need to make sure that those people have been, those estates have been sorted out and people have been allocated their land before we can move further, and make sure that the infrastructures are being worked on once allocation is done, before we can move forward to something else. You get? So if you want to buy an estate that has beachfront, if you not even the beachfront, like I said, that's just icing on the cake. If you want to buy an estate that has a lot of attractions, that has good prospects for good return on your investment, Queen's Garden is it. Once Queen's Garden is sold out, we might have a tough time looking for another one. And keep in mind that you might say, okay, Beachfront Phase 2 was 3 million. This one I will be spending 600k extra. Trust me, that's 600k extra. If you wait for another one to come, which is probably Beachfront Phase 3, it will not sell at the same price. Like I said earlier, Beachfront Phase 1 launched at 2.3. The Phase 2 launched at 2.6. Sold out at 3 million, while the Phase 1 sold out at 2.8. You get? So land don't get cheaper. Even if, yes, you can always get another land, it doesn't get cheaper. It gets more expensive. Even houses, all these houses that we sell on pay and build basis, they get more expensive because building materials, just the avocado that we launched when is already being set up to, in fact, the date the price will be increased was extended. Otherwise 2 million was already supposed to be added to it. Why? Because of the material for building. Almost everything that they used to build in this country, they import it. And then especially with the COVID and all that, what do you think it has done to things coming from abroad? Even to ship things here now is crazy, the cost of it. So things don't get cheaper, things get more expensive. So if you want to do something now, why procrastinate on what you can do today and start pushing it and say, I will do it, and when I come back, and some of you will say that when I come back I want to pay outright. So because I want to pay outright, I want to see it first. And I put so much effort to do all these detailed videos for you. You can, even if you don't believe the videos, some of the videos you see online, it's easy. Do a live video. Ask for a live video. Let the person be at the site and call you on Facebook Live or WhatsApp Live, and you'll be there. It will be as if you're there at the site. There are live things. There are things. It's not everything that can be faked. So ask for that instead of saying, don't worry, when I come, when I this, there will be other land. Even if he sells that, it's not the best way. It's not best way for an investor to speak. An investor sees what he wants, knows why he has chosen that thing, and then, you know, goes for it. He only slows his feet when he's not sure, when there appears to be risk, when, you know, the potential for return doesn't seem very good to him. So but a true investor, if you want to do this real estate investing, and do it like a pro. You don't drag your feet over sentiment, over things that you can. Some of you wait on your relative to go help you look at it. It's simple. You can just say, my consultant, please go to the site and do a live video for me. Let me see it. Because if your relative sees it, you are still not the one seeing it. What your relative will like. If your relative tells you, I like the place, it doesn't necessarily mean that you will like it. You are not the same person. So it's still just like a consultant looking at the place on your behalf, or saying, the place is good, and posting a video. You get what I'm saying? So will you trust professionals to do these things for you? I think over the years I've proven myself, you know, and I'm glad that a lot of you trust me for it as a result now. So keep trusting me, and I'll be able to take you to your destination of at least as it relates to real estate investing. Yeah. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for your time. And like I've said, if any of you want to wish me a special congratulations on my wedding is coming up in a few months. So I'm going from a Miss to a Mrs. very soon, and I'm sure there will be an opportunity to, after the wedding, to bring him and introduce you to even you guys. A lot of you have stuck with me for some years now, some of you some months. So this is a relationship we have. So I try to be open sometimes and let you people know a little bit about me, so you know that I am real. I have life issues just like you have, and I also have life success just like you have. I'm talking about success. Yeah. So sometime this January I got some plaque for my awards. Some are still on their way, but I got a few. Let me show you some of them. So this one is from ABN, Ashiva's Business Network. It was given to me as an award for one of their top realtors for the year. We realtors, we have a network. Some of us sell through a network, some of us are under a network. The network is supposed to be a body of, you know, guys that protect our interest in the industry. So this came from them. It says ABN IS Selling Realtor Merit Award 2020, Karo presented to Karo Itoje, in appreciation towards your outstanding performance and commitment to Ashiva's Business Network. That's what it says here. I was reading what it says here. So yeah, that's one. And then there's this one from Liveway Gardens. Liveway Gardens Award 2020 presents appreciation for high sales performance of the year to Karo Itoje. My name is Karo Itoje, by the way, the full name, you know, but I'm popularly known as Karo. Nobody calls me Karo, but my official documents carry Karo. So Karo, in recognition of your exemplary results and unparalleled sales performance. Yay! You know. So we do so much. I feel like some of us do so much and put in so much effort. So when we are celebrated, it means a whole lot to us. When we have a plaque, not all of them we get a plaque for, but when we do get, you know, it's an indication. That's what people see. When you're congratulated without giving a plaque, people are like, there's nothing to show for it. So it's almost like it never happened. So yeah, so that's enough of it from me today. For those of you who are in countries where the COVID is hitting very hard, please stay safe. Do what you can do to protect yourself and your family members, and because I want you to be here with me. I want all of us to be here when all this ends, when the pandemic ends, I mean. So bye for now.